Yeah, and sadly for Beast Coast, it's another game where the Batrider would just be the perfect solution, but it's what 5-Rat pick around. And I think letting the Nature's Prophet through in game 3 feels like a mistake. And
Hmm.
now, what's the hero pick? What's the choice? Do you just slam Parker TA? Is that the desperation you're going to feel at this point? Just throw away the core matchup to try and get Parker what he loves and could play versus NP? Or do you say, okay, we've got this Lena hero now. Do we slam the Morphling? Do we say, okay, you're gonna have to play versus Ricky Parker, but maybe you're gonna have enough time and space that the rest of the lineup's gonna do. It's where they're gonna have to go in a different direction that answers quite a few different things right now. And it's why they're thinking so hard on this pick. This is where they would pick Parker as hero, but even Sacred is feeling a little bit pressured. And the
Okay.
Dawnbreaker does sneak through the bans. So it's an interesting direction to go in. But I don't know. Doesn't feel like that immediate answer that I was kind of hoping for here, and shrouds up their draft a little bit. Because we've seen Parker play the Dawnbreaker, we've seen Sacred play the Dawnbreaker. It keeps 5-Rat guessing on their final few bans here, but I don't know if either way really still addresses any of 5-Rat's lineup.
Hmm. And well, 5-Rat start with the ban on the Darkseer, so they are very much aware that the Dawnbreaker could end up in either of those remaining two cores' hands. So, as of right now, leaning towards it being a Parker hero, but could see them just split those bans in the final stage. For Beast Coast, though, well, what are they looking at? If this is going to be Dark Mago Tiny, then they're presumably banning to protect that matchup.
Yeah, and I think the Lash is probably the easy ban still. 5-Rat
Hmm.
could loop back around for it. There's still Ember as well that could be taken out. I think into Silence or Clockwork, maybe that's a lane you don't care about too much, but there's still that worry. And there was, yeah, thought I heard it. A pause for a second there, and that's not allowed. No, nobody disconnected either, so a little bit awkward there. And they will decide to ban out Dragonite of all heroes. Very, very odd from Beast Coast.
Dark Mago says his dog paused the game. All right. Not sure if I believe that 100%, but it was a quick pause. We're back into it, and I don't know. Maybe that also explains. No, it was Dark Mago's dog. Dark Mago could not have paused Dark Mago's game, but also made Stinger ban the Dragon Knight. Because other than that explanation, ET, not really sure what reason there is to ban the DK.
Yeah, of course, the easy answer is that they're protecting a puck, but there's no puck.
Hmm.
I don't think Beast Coast want puck necessarily either, even though they could do for a little bit more of that AoE lockdown in their lineup, because right now, all they've got to combo with is Hookshot in Avatar's combo with that Dawnbreaker. They want a big spell. They want something they can just throw out there, and the Enigma, yeah, pretty appropriate ban right now. Still would have been able to respond to those black holes, but is a surefire way for the Lena to die in pretty much any situation. But I'm still sitting here thinking of that DK ban. Thinking of that alien hero. Monkey King as
Okay.
well. And okay, protecting the Dawnbreaker, some possible flexibility there. But there's no way Beast Coast think this is going to be a Lena mid. It just doesn't make enough sense. And it also works against what Beast Coast have kind of drafted up until this point. Beast Coast have got me stumped. I wonder if 5-Rat are just on the money here with these sacred bans, but for 5-Rat, they need a mid laner. They need something easy. I still think their heroes, both the Ember or the Lash, are just the easy picks for them, but we'll see what they prefer. And okay,
Okay.
and none of the above. It's Tusk. It's easy damage. It's fast. Blanes very nicely versus Tiny. Once the both mid laners hit level 6, it's that stalemate where Tusk just rotates out of the lane while Tiny has to stick around a little bit longer, a few more minutes to finish his Blink Dagger. But it works. It's right in line with what Red 2 likes to play as the mid. It's not Pango, but it'll do his job.
Mm-hmm. And okay for the 5-Rat side, and now we go back over to Beast Coast with 5 seconds on the clock. Oh, what do they go for here? Oh, okay. The mag pick for them, so a little bit of durability. There's your sort of team fight strength coming into play as well. Oh, it's Parker on the Magnus. I thought they were just going to hand that off to Sacred ET, but Parker's going to do his best Yuma impression here and try to run the one mag.
And it's either going to work or it's really not gonna work. You are playing versus Lena Carey. You are either going to kill her and win and look great, or you're going to blink, RP, hit her, get overgrowth, she survives the RP, and then you die. And then that's it. And then this is what Beast Coast have banked their lives in the tournament on. And I just got to favor 5RAT. I think they've got exactly what they want, and they don't want to go home. They're hungry. They want that rematch versus Shopify. They know they're capable of beating that team. They just got to win this last game, and then they're there. Well, Beast Coast going in an entirely different direction right at the end. I can almost hear the buzzer, Kmart. We're right there. And I don't know if Parker Magnus is going to be it, but this is the attempt.
Mm-hmm. I felt like they had to try something, and as you said, that timer was running down on them, so... I mean, it's better than a random. Well, actually, who knows? Can't really say that, because a random could be anything, right? But Parker Magnus is what they're going to bet their playoff lives on, and I mean, if it works, it's going to be spectacular, right? We will discover a new aspect of Parker that we hadn't necessarily seen. I said he's got to do his best Yuma impression, because Parker does not play Carry Magnus, or at least has not done so in a long time, and for like 5 or 6 teams in a row that he's played for, too.
Yeah. He's a specialist. He likes it. It's cool. It's flashy. It is also a hero entirely dictated on 2 things. Your RPs and team fights, and your actual net worth. Because if we see that Lena eclipse you, double you up, it's over. As well as if 5RAT ever get an Aegis in their hands, it's where those big ultimates are immediately turned against you. You can't afford to RP Alina with Aegis. You will just lose. It's that impossible team fight that you just cannot win, in what 5RAT are going to try to use for their victory. But man, 5RAT, what a great draft. What a great series so far. But both these teams, they don't want to go home. This is elimination. This is the end. But what a story.
One last game to determine which of these two continues on here in Pro Series. And as you said, from the 5RAT perspective, there is no major, right? There's nothing coming up here. The other teams, or not the other teams, but Shopify and Beast Coast at least, obviously don't want to lose either. But if they do lose, okay, you know, you book your flights, you get over to Peru, and you get ready for that major stage. 5RAT don't have that. This is what they're playing for, and well, they put themselves in what has to be the favored position here draft-wise. Not saying it won't work for Beast Coast, but there's a lot more question marks on their side than 5RAT's side.
Definitely. And it'll be an uphill battle. One where I think the easy tell is going to be how Beast Coast are playing in their lanes. Got a lot of early game magic damage. They've got very lethal heroes. All it takes is a few missteps, and really anybody can go down. But if we start to see those timings slow up, if we see the blink coming out late, we see Sacred getting picked off, not finding the levels, it can get real hard real quick. That's okay. Nice little snowball defending his bounty rune up top, even though Red 2 now has to come to lane with snowball, which is not what you typically want to see, but, you know, could be much worse. We'll still be able to get him the ranged creep, but an odd start to the game.
And I don't know. Red 2 deciding to be extra cautious there, but I think they realistically could have still secured that rune without the snowball, and once the cogs are in place, snowball's not going to really net you any sort of first blood opportunity, so it's a little unfortunate, but you see Red 2 already making the most of it, as you said. Get the range creep, play up, get some damage on Dark Mago, and he's going to hit level 2 pretty quickly here, and then this is all not really relevant.
Yeah. In this lane, it's just going to be Red 2, very efficiently trading. You're slightly at a base damage disadvantage on the Tusk, but you just attack so much quicker. You've got actual armor as well, so Dark Mago is just going to get beat up. Hopefully not going to have to buy a salve or anything in the works, but will constantly be pressured for regen. But then once he hits level 6, then he's chilling, and he gets armor. Gets to be tiny with armor. It's very nice.
Just got enough gold for his bottle as well, so that should be on its way out to him pretty early, and gives us a chance to look over at the side lanes here as Parker, well, he's level 2. He's trying to see if he can get a skewer play. That's not quite it, though. Didn't get the full pullback, but now he skewers forward. Still does the damage. but at that point, moves will not be taken down. But that is something that they have to be so careful of. Shockwave Skewer into Stinger with DOT and not a massive slow ET, but there is still a slow on Arcane Curse, so these heroes don't really have a lot of mobility in the Prophet and the Ricky, so always got to be careful of that combo.
You definitely do. He's probably going to turn his build around and get some more points up in the end power sooner than later, but anytime they can catch moves out when he's got the extended curse on him, no less, it's very nice, very efficient. But I think the big reason why they have gone for this Magnus as well just gives them some more fighting power in the laning stage. Parker is set up a little bit more to actually contest versus speed, not going to be thrown to the wolves nearly as much, and will allow Stinger to actually rotate out of the lane a little bit more. Where before, when Stinger rotated out of the lane, well, he was just straight up farming on Enchantress, and that certainly did not work out for him.
Yeah, especially considering Parker just got beat up several times on that Shadow Fiend, so not a scenario that he ever really wants to be in again here. So just playing up, grabbing some creeps here with the attempted pull from Moose, and I mean, it kind of worked, but if Parker's just able to get in there and take most of it, then the benefits are not quite what you were hoping for. But things settling down here. We'll keep an eye on Parker in case he goes for the combo again, but other than that, just trading last hits and a similar scenario in this top lane. You might want to be careful on DNM, though, in the near future. Level 2 is up on the clockwork. Sacred hits that mark as well. Actually, level 3 now, so if you get too far forward, that Starbreaker Celestial Hammer combo with the potential for Battery Assault and or Cog Trap, the Lina may not survive that one. But DNM, wise to the potential threat, starting to back off already, and in the meantime, maybe one is going to get a pull going.
Yeah, does the very nifty side pull, then gets to rotate over, make sure the bounty rune doesn't get sniped out. Doesn't walk all the way to the water rune, but during all that, yeah, DNM's going to get hit up. Just a little bit too far up in the lanes, why the pull comes through, and why Schofield gets a pull going for himself.
They get the cutoff angle, though, yeah. DNM he's dead. Oh, maybe he's not. No, Schofield gets back in there to finish the job, but DNM just kind of choosing the wrong way, thinking through the tree lines that he could outrun Sacred, and he could, but it's a shorter path for the clockwork to cut him off.
Yeah, and then the stacked large camp comes through, and then the lane is still not in a great spot. It's still pulled pretty far back. Sacred does need mana, though, and sadly for him, he won't be able to make any crazy plays just yet, even though there are some mangoes on Schofield, but I think this is a mistake. They should probably look to just take these next few waves a little lightly, even though Schofield says, oh, I'm in, but you are in. What a dodge, though. Oh my goodness, that LSA.
Impressive stuff. Schofield walks away. Sacred not able to get in range, though, for the kill, and then...
Huh.
What?
He just stayed in the nature's grasp.
Okay. That's... Oh, boy. That is something. Freebie going the way of the Treant Protector. Wow. Just wasn't paying attention to where he was walking there and gets picked off. Now in the bottom lane, Parker getting hit up a little bit, but that Sprout... They know they can't actually put it down for long. In fact, you saw him turn it into Treants almost immediately because there is a Quelling Blade up, so can't actually keep him locked down for very long.
Yeah. Just always able to survive, even though speed is very quick, very good with those traps, but already we see that speed is back in that 1v1. Supports have rotated, Moose is set up for that 6-minute rune, and it will be a battle that currently Dark Mega will win, because he's got a level 6, just a little bit faster than Red 2, and now he's getting his time kind of split. So it was a great Ava from Dark Mago, stopping that bottle refill from AB1, but it's all about the rune now, and Schofield will kill it, but will he kill himself here? Maybe not. But, okay, Mango. Red 2 doesn't know if he wants in, though. He's scared.
The indecision may cost his teammate his life. AB1 is hit by the Ava. No toss yet. There's the toss coming in. It's not quite enough damage for the kill, though, but they've still got DOT on him. Red 2 goes for the snowball. AB1 does lose the curse, so he will survive. Schofield does not have a point in the rocket flare, so no chance to sort of snipe this one out, and well, everybody walks away. 6 bodies in the middle lane, no kills going down there, and If you're Dark Mago, you didn't get the kill, but now you kind of have control of this lane for a little bit. AB1 and Moose really can't do anything to you.
No, they are going to try and sap, but yeah, this is where they really should try and avoid Dark Mago a little bit more now. He's just too tanky. He can't die, and because they've split up, well, this is going to happen. Nice LSA, but the battery assault, trying to let the creeps tank it, and it's not enough. And Moose can't even find the return kill, and that is the problem. Do not go against the literal stone. Dark Mago's too tanky. The supports need to stay out on the map in those side lanes. Otherwise, that's going to happen. And you've also just propelled Sacred forward to his level 6. So any other aggressive play from 5RAT needs to be taken with a grain of salt here. You got to really be careful. Watch that Dawnbreaker. Because you go for a dive, you get baited in, you'll get hard punished by that Soul Guardian.
Schofield just found AB1. Hits him up with the Cog Trap. Battery Assault is doing some work. Of course, AB1, he does hit hard, but not sure if it's going to be hard enough. But now with Red 2 coming over, yeah, Schofield should die here, or maybe not. Dark Mago comes in, gets off the Avalanche. They're going to take down the Treant. Sacred, meanwhile, did ult his way down to the bottom lane, so they go in onto speed. They find that kill. And yeah, Schofield lives. Dark Mago really only had to use 1 or 2 spells and goes right back to the middle lane. So Beast Coast get a whole hell of a lot going here. And Schofield, I mean, that last one was almost accidental, but the level of impact he's having here. Setting up twice onto the Lina, making rotations mid, helping Dark Mago find a kill there in the Roche pit. It's all coming together for him.
Yeah, he's getting the respect from his teammates as well. He's in the lane. First Wrath of Nature, though. Trying to get some punishment on the Parker, but very aware now that there's probably a ward seeing him farm, and Moose was making his way as well, but nothing's hitting right now for 5RAT. All of their plays are not exactly spelling out in the fashion that they really want them to. And with that, the Tusk wants to get aggressive, and the Tusk is coming bottom. This is a nice play. Just need to bring as many heroes as possible, and they get their first pick, but still going to have to work for it, and you're going to get RP'd. Okay. Cloud Blast long enough, but Dark Mago.
The Tiny. Wants something. Avalanche is going to get moves right away. Stinger will die, though. And now if you're Dark Mago, do you have the damage to do this by yourself? Ava's coming back up. Will connect there onto the Tusk. Red 2, though, pops the shards. And that may just be enough to keep him alive, but up in the top lane, Sacred going in with Schofield. They're trying for DNM again, and they will get him a second time. And then, well, back down bot. Parker respawns. Dark Mago didn't leave. Avalanche comes in. Shockwave is there. RP will not be needed. They're just going to clean it up. These trades going in Beast Coast's favor. And now in the middle lane, they're going to try for Stinger, but here comes Sacred. Did jump into a smoke screen, so no immediate follow-up, but he keeps his teammate safe, and he's actually going to go for the kill. Starbreaker will hit. Those shards did not create the separation Red 2 wanted, but it may just be enough. With the living armor on him, he is trying to get away, but here comes Schofield into the fight. Can he connect? He can't. Dark Mago can. Avalanche into the middle lane. They'll find the kill. Now they're on to Moose as well. And Beast Coast, I mean, just like kicking an anthill. They are just swarming around the map right now.
Yeah, they're just globally walking from lane to lane, and sure, they're not getting the most farm, not getting the most last hits, but net worth-wise, all 3 of their cores stand at the top, not very far ahead. And of course, CS scores, it's not looking great for them, but they've just been active. They've just been playing the game. And now for 5RAT, maybe they can bounce back a little bit more once AB1 has overgrowth. You can look to play the game a little bit easier on that Treant, but they've just done a fantastic job so far of playing that up-tempo style. It's just working out for him. And Red 2 is still struggling for a lot of this game. His rotations have not really been as successful. He's been unable to find nearly as many kills or even just participation in the game at large. And we'll see what he decides to go for after his Falcon Blade, if it's just going to be the Blink, but back bottom, yeah. Easy kill. Simple as that. Hook shot. Schofield got the tome. He's level 7.5 right now. Just out of control in this clock.
Best part about that play from the Beast Coast perspective, they come through the tree line. They didn't hook shot in, so Schofield got to hold it until realistically the last possible moment the Nature's Prophet could have tried to TP away. And then they lock him down, and now up top, Dark Mago finds the kill, and ET, yeah, he's farming heroes, not creeps. He's closing in on his Blink as that Wrath of Nature does fly through. trying for Schofield, but they don't even get him. Maybe there's a TP, but at this point, it would be a blind one. Oh, Moose. Okay. Moose is able to get it done. They finally tracked that kill down. They desperately needed it, but now they've got to make sure DNM doesn't get caught here. He is able to walk away. Red 2 is going to grab the haste, so Dark Mako does not have that in his bottle. And maybe the aggression slows down, or maybe it doesn't, because speed gets caught again. Solar Guardian in. Still no RP used. I don't think we've seen one this game, ET, and haven't needed it.
Yeah, it's just been real easy for them to find these plays just in front of them. It's always been something simple, just an Ava that's slow enough or a skewer into the play. And we're getting to some of those scary early game timings. There's 2 Echo Sabers on Beast Coast. The Blink Dagger on Dark Mako is almost going to be done. And then, well, the game's afoot. And they're going to start to get incredibly active. They're not going to let DNM farm anymore. Already, he's been able to amass a little bit of net worth here. He's got the Maelstrom, so he can very quietly get his job done. But look top.
Oh,
what a great hook. And that's why Clock versus Treant just feels nice. You are not as shifty until you get that Ag Shard. You're not very sneaky. It's very easy for Schofield to actually land those. There's no trickery there. Easy pick.
Parker gets the kill. Parker gets the tower. Blink Dagger purchased and being delivered to Dark Mako. If Moose could snipe this out, though. Oh, that is massive. Okay. It's only 2 minutes, but 2 big minutes where Dark Mako is honestly still probably going to look for the aggression. I mean, he's 3-0-3. Nothing's really stopped him so far, but without the blink, he is still limited in terms of who he can actually try to get onto.
Yeah, now keeping that aggression going. They don't have a Deso, they don't have a Blightstone, but this mid-tier one's just getting beat up, forces out Glyph. It's only a level 2 living armor as well. And another Wrath of Nature flies through, but they just shrug it off. 5RAT are not really finding their sync-ups. They don't feel very cohesive right now. And I think kind of reflected in their posture on the map. Smooth is more focused on really killing off couriers than getting out anywhere onto the map. He's still playing Ricky pre-15 minutes, so, you know, nothing too special, but they're just doing exactly what they want. Stealing out the DD rune is very nice, and, well, he is on the run. Don't know if he's going to get away either. Maybe deny? Nope.
Good attempt. Not going to get it. Sacred gets the kill, and a little bit of a tip there for Moose as well, but I want to check in at this point, ET, with all this early fighting. Stinger, okay. +8. You know, nothing too crazy, but... Well, I say nothing too crazy. That's 8 stolen intelligence at 14 minutes. That is pretty impressive.
No, and look at this. Parker guesses correctly here from Red 2, and Red 2 has to juke, has to jive, and he gets his TP broken instantaneously. Just isn't able to dodge out long enough, and yeah, this is just the Tusk step. First RP isn't flashy, doesn't matter. They killed the most dangerous hero on the map for 5RAT, and are 5RAT satisfied with what's going on right now? I'm also concerned looking over at speed. Been the hard farmer in that bottom lane, hasn't gone anywhere, hasn't really rotated around too much. Mainly because the response from Beast Coast is so terrifying. But he's Maelstrom. He's Gleipnir Rush. This isn't the Ags build. This isn't that less farm-oriented playstyle. He's just doing exactly what he did in Game 2. But there's already a Maelstrom hero on his team. He's splitting hairs with DNM. DNM's not able to become that ultra carry, and Moose is dead.
They are rapidly running out of space, which makes the double sort of greedy build, yeah, that much more concerning. DNM at least is closing in on a BKB, so maybe. Just maybe he'll be ready to fight soon, but... Well, how much does BKB get you? You BKB, you can still be caught by RP. You can still be hit up by the hook shot. The global silence is still going to affect you, so... I mean, it's obviously valuable, and the Lina cannot get away with not buying one, but it doesn't solve all of your problems.
No, I swear, I think for 5RAT, and it is still very close. Everybody is neck and neck with each other net worth lines right now, mainly because those towers really haven't gotten pushed down and 5RAT are still one behind. But we need to see them do something with Moose. Ricky has his shard. Moose is going to start that hunt. He's going to start working around, looking for opportunities. And then you just have to think to yourself, who's the hero that really is able to capitalize off of those darts? Is there enough time? Will they be able to get a play going with him before this game is over? As well as what is going to cause Beast Coast to split up? Because you want picks. Moose is not going to sleep dart 5 heroes. You know, we joke about it being broken, but into the 5-man, it is a fairly helpless choice. And the split has happened. Sacred's left bottom. 2 more heroes have gone. They want this big team fight.
Yep, there's going to be your dart. Stinger is still here, though. There's going to be the global, and Dark Mega goes in. Gets off the avalanche, gets off the toss. 2 heroes dropping pretty quickly, but they're not dead just yet. Red 2 gets off the snowball. It doesn't save him, but it does allow them to take this trade. No, it doesn't look pretty, but it gets the job done. Although now they have to be careful. Here comes the secondary initiation, AB1. Getting hit up. Good dart, though, onto Parker. Absorbing or preventing a lot of that damage, but not enough to actually save the Treant. But ET in that scenario, it's the Treant getting picked off instead of the entire rest of the 5-rat lineup, so you'll take it.
Yeah, they get their trade. Lena gets a whole lot of net worth out of that engagement, and Beast Coast make a pretty rudimentary mistake. They show in 2 lanes, the rest of the lineup sticks around. They get scouted out by a very nice ward that Moose was able to drop and track down during that entire engagement. But a mistake that Beast Coast cannot really afford to make very many more of. It's where this game gets very, very difficult the longer it goes on. As Moose, he tried contesting for the Arcane Rune, but not enough time.
Well-placed sentry ward there in the middle lane. Kind of spots him out. They, I think, hit him with the dust as well afterwards just to be sure. And, well, they get the kill. Dark Mago now has an Arcane Rune bottled up, which his cooldown's already not the longest here on the Avatos, but just going to make him that much more dangerous as Parker goes for the jump in. Parker really, let's not even say gun shy, because that's not it. He's just recognizing, I don't need RP to make the vast majority of these plays.
Yeah, and there's no real threat either for killing him. He's a strong, tanky Magnus. He's independent. He's on the lanes. He has a full BKB now. He was greeting out disassembling his Echo Saber because, you know, Echo Saber is a lot easier to farm with. But the bigger problem is that currently for 5-rat,
oh man,
as AB1 gets taken down. If DNM shows up to any of these fights, he's just going to get blink RP'd. BKB or not, you're going to get taken out of the fight, and then you need to hope that the rest of your lineup can cover up what's left, and there just simply isn't any other core left. It's not like game 2. They need more time. This Gleipnir's done on speed, but he needs BKB. Then he can be that secondary core that he's farming for. But in the meantime, DNM is crawling for more of these items. They're not occupying that much of the actual map, while Beast Coast doing Beast Coast things. They're styling. They're everywhere they need to be. They're splitting up, which should create opportunities for Moose, but he's still struggling to find those plays as well. So they're getting scared. They're getting shoved away. There's a BKB now finished on Red 2, but without any Blink initiators, it's still very difficult for 5-rat to get into a team fight. The majority of their team fights are just going to be sleep darting and then running in. That's not classy. That's not finesse. That's just going to be them brute forcing. Sacred, okay. Nice pick.
They do have him surrounded. They get the silence down. Global. Yeah, and then speed tips him. Yeah, Stinger, you might have wanted to hold off on that one, but okay. There's a pick, a big one at that. They immediately smoke after it, though. Do they go for another kill, or do they look for the pits? Okay, it's going to be the Roche pit. They're going to try and take this. They've got DNM on maxed out stacks. And they should be able to get this. The flare will not fly over the pit, but I think it got close enough. They're pinging it. But they won't reach it in time.
No, and they're going to smoke up now. They do stagger it, so that way they should be able to get Sacred into the fight if they get something on the follow-up. But I think going up to that high ground, knowing that they don't have that cliff, it's probably just too scary. And the Ricky as well, so East Coast have to peel away. And now DNM gets to play Lena with absolute safety. The Aegis gives him that buffer. Like I said before, he cannot be RP'd now. Any team fight will have to have that emphasis on the other 2 cores. And if Beast Coast don't get that jump, if they fail, then they can't fight. Then they have to instead dodge out and look for something else. And it's where 5-rat, they're going to put DNM as far out as possible. Try to lead the smoke, try to give them that initiation, just be the first one into the room, and then hope they spend all of their spells on him. But sadly for 5RAT, they're going to whiff pretty hard here. They're looking for Sacred alone, and they've got a great idea of where he would be with these treants just so spread out. But unless they dive real hard under his tower, I don't think they're going to land here. Again, that problem with their initiation.
And they don't quite have the jump that they want. The smoke will dissipate, and now... Well, do they know? I don't believe they do. There is a sentry ward here. There's the low ground ward, but it doesn't see up the actual ramp, so they might not know that there's several heroes from Beast Coast hanging out on their high ground. Now, though... Okay. Well, the jig is up. They see everybody, so not going to walk into that trap, but East Coast are finding more farm. Parker's closing in on an AC here, so he is absolutely massive. Okay. A little bit too massive there, so massive that he pops BKB for not a great reason right now, and now has to back away, but Beast Coast are making an orderly retreat. Dark Mago says, no, retreating's for losers, we're going to try and go in. There's going to be the global silence deployed, but immediately realizes that's a terrible idea. But now it's too late. BKB popped from red 2. They cancel out Dark Mago's TP, and... yeah, this... I don't really know what Dark Mago's play was there. Maybe just a little overconfident in his own damage output, and now he's just got to try to run for his life, and he's not going to make it away.
Yeah, gets taken down. They just get bodied. They get run out of there. Of course, had the global and then maybe the TP, but just doesn't come out in time, gets interrupted. Just no way for them to actually exist in that space, as well as no time for a Solar Guardian, no way for Parker to initiate after the BKB was already expended. And sure, they're still farming, but 21-9, 5RAT are occupying those net worth spots, those top net worth spots. Really, the only thing you have going for you is that you've got slightly more time under your belt farming and playing on your opponent's side of the map. Otherwise, the map's about to reset, as well as Moo's already making preparations to catch the hero farming top by himself. If anybody else can get up here, this is probably Parker dead to rights. Moose just needs a friend right now.
39 seconds on the BKB cooldown, so it's got to send somebody up there. We'll see if anyone goes. In the meantime, taking a look at Sacred ET, this is a very greedy build. Got his shard, which, okay, you know, whatever, that's whatever, but you take a look at the itemization here, he's got the Deso alongside the BKB, but that means, you know, we're not looking at any mech, any Greaves play, so they really just have to hope that Solar Guardian alone is enough sort of extra durability, and it certainly can be, but Dawnbreaker sitting at 7-2 and 6 feels like he can get away with a greedy damage-oriented build, but now with the momentum shifting, you start to wonder if that's going to work out.
Yeah, and we'll see. The lag subsides. Red 2 gets back into this game, but through sheer net worth and Beast Coast being unable to find any play, they're getting more and more space. And look at that. The NMTP stop. Parker says, yeah, something's going on right now. That 6th Dota sense kind of tick in the back of your mind. He does get away from the Ricky. But now the opposite is also true. Schofield sees Speed, and yeah, Speed's here. They've got Solar Guardian as well, but Sacred's not coming quick. He's really lazing this one out, and, well, they're not going to kill Speed. They're not going to lose Schofield, but somebody didn't want to do something there.
A bit of a strange one, and oh, RP in the river. Now they're going to go in for the Solar Guardian. So they wanted the, well, I was going to say more valuable of the two, but ET, I mean, looking at net worth, that's not really the case. Red 2's kind of been the sacrificial core in this scenario, but either way, it nets them a kill and allows them to maybe get out across the map once again, but they do need some vision over on this side. Sentry's down. Did this sentry catch that one? No, it didn't. They got the ward, the obs ward, though.
Yeah, and maybe that was just a misjump from Schofield. Perhaps saw the BKB finish up on Speed and didn't know if there was enough time, as Schofield's been playing with fire down here. Let's pop a mango. does get off that Force Staff, but a fresh DNM back out onto the map, yeah, that'll happen. Just gets taken down. But 50 seconds, and this Aegis will be gone. No tier 2 towers claimed. No tier 1 mid even claimed from 5RAT. Never finding the time to really be those aggressors, but the game will level out back again here for Beast Coast. And we will get that situation where we can actually RPM as, yeah, poor Moose. A D-Warden Ricky. Just get the BKB out of Parker. Didn't want to mess around with Smoke Cloud at all, but now I hazard to say they're not going to be able to defend this mid tower anymore because there's no BKB on your Magnus, but Parker's satisfied with the farm instead.
Yeah. Farming, able to contribute to a kill, got his AC finished off, and now looking for the Mage Slayer as his next pickup. So there is still, you know, a little bit of that magic damage coming out. It's not really the primary damage from most of these heroes, and depending on the itemization, may not even be the primary damage from DNM himself, but if you can make your opponents entirely reliant on physical damage, then that could be a step in the right direction. Of course, then that goes back to Sacred going for this Gradier build. You don't really have any other defensive measures that would make the reduction of that magic damage more significant.
You gotta be very careful now. Parker with the DD. Has his BKB up in 25. Looking for AB1. Kind of caught in the lanes on these towers, but Beast Coast are still looking for those pickoffs. You know, they gotta be careful of the Ricky still. Fearsome hero, but pressure on that tier 2. Tier 2, Parker is a little bit hesitant to hit up though, as he should be. There is a response mounting here from 5RAT, but there's also that Nature's Prophet effect. The lanes are getting pushed in. Eventually you're gonna have to walk over. Even though Speed has been using a majority of his treants as scouting agents as opposed to direct tower damage as he snipes out that top tier 1, but always getting a vague idea of where Beast Coast are playing. And it feels like 5RAT are going to want to smoke. They do just get an observer ward though, so knowing that something is up and, well, they just saw 3 or 4 5RAT heroes, so slight reset, but everybody is really feeling the pressure right now. Even though right now, Beast Coast are spreading out on the map, still getting quite a lot of farm. Sacred's able to farm the triangle while the rest of the lineup is still standing battle ready in that mid lane. And they're closing in on these tier 2s. And that's where Sacred gets to be that easy response to the Nature's Prophet. He can afford to be in those side lanes and show up to the fight slate, but gotta make sure not to get picked off.
Damage coming into play for everyone. Echo Saber for Dark Mago. The Deso was just picked up from the Dawnbreaker. There's a Hurricane Pike now as well on DNM, so between that and the BKB, he is going to be significantly harder to lock down unless they just straight up catch him with something like the RP or the hook shot. And also, worth noting, Aether Lens for Moose, so he can now be just as annoying as before, but from an even longer range. Gotta love it for the Ricky. Also, Philosopher's Stone there as well. Part of the reason he can kind of afford that, because Moose has not been doing any farming. Hasn't been hitting any creeps. It's just Assist Gold and Philosopher's Stone getting him those items.
Yeah, and it looks like both sides decide that it's maybe time to just wait for Roche. No pick is presenting himself as AB1 does get pretty far up in that mid lane, but neither side can blitz onto those towers either. There's a little bit of respect given, and here we go. Beast Coast deciding to smoke during the nighttime, however, so a little bit more difficult for them to make those initiations. It's where these high ground wards are going to be everything. Stinger presses forward, trying to give himself some space and maybe a place to smoke back to. But 5RAT, they sit on the high ground. They stand confident. They've got the better ward in this situation, and they see everything.
Oh, they're going to jump on the Moose first, though. They get that kill. There's the RP. There's the Global Silence. They're onto the Lina. They need more damage, though. Trying to take her down, but they've only got the support so far, and DNM is trying to fight his way out of this, but his BKB is going to start to run out of time. Looking for the TP home, and will not make it. They strike hard. They strike fast. DT on the Beast Coast side, throwing out multiple ults at the very beginning. And it's enough for them to win the fight. Stinger very nearly gets picked off, but now that reveals Red 2's location. They're going to try and track him down, but his own BKB should keep him safe here. Ooh. Link forward out of Sacred. That was not a good idea, but now Dark Mago's in. Avatos onto Speed. Speed, though, popping the BKB, looking to fight, but Parker's getting involved, and Speed, you don't want to be here anymore, but you don't really have anywhere to go. They will be able to take him down, but Moose responds, gets in, gets off the Ooh, gets off the dart. Is this enough, though? They need the snowball stun. They do get it. The smoke screen actually is well placed there as well, and... Okay. Parker goes down. Sacred falls as well, and if you're Beast Coast, you're trying to back away, but there's another dart. That extended range from the lens gets them in. No BKB. Schofield, though, with the Force Staff, is trying to create the separation, but now AB1 able to get in. Pops the Overgrowth. The Dark Mago's not dead yet. He's going to turn around for the kill to take out Moose, but at this point, I do not think he's getting away. They slowly but surely bring him down, and well, if you're Beast Coast ET, there's a very important question to be asked here, and that question is, what were you doing in your opponent's base?
And this is the game-losing mistake. They've forfeited Roche. It just respawns. That was the objective they were going to swing for, but they don't get any of the D wards. They walk right back through all of this 5-rat vision. They have thrown away their game, basically. Of course, they're not going to give up. They're not going to GG out. They're still going to play, but they've made this game incredibly difficult for themselves now, as this is just easy. This is super simple. All because you wanted a red 2 kill. The red in their eyes just got them to make a huge mistake, and this game just got so easy for 5-rat. Just a buffer now for DMM to play with, who now gets to build and actually farm up some damage. Just got level 20 as well on speed. A 20 that is also a little bit of a choice here. I think Sprout Leashes is the easy talent, but the 100% miss chance is also very, very good this game, especially in those man fights where you can just stop Parker from doing any damage. It could be a brutal talent decision, but one that you still have to think about quite heavily.
Mm-hmm. He hasn't made a decision just yet, so well, we'll see. The vast majority of the time, as you said, the leash talent is the choice, but he is taking some time to think it over because he can afford to. His teammate, meanwhile, pushing for those tier 2s. So 5-rat finally able to get the pressure onto these towers like they have wanted for so long. They do have to work through a glyph first, but yeah, DNM does not care. Keeps going. Gets the tower. Glyph does get refreshed with the loss of that tower, however. But what's going on here? Schofield's going to get caught. Global Silence, though, will be deployed, but the BKBs had already come out, so they're just going to keep on pushing their way forward. Schofield and Stinger both finished off. Sacred stunned by the LSA. Going to get taken down by DNM. And, well, Beast Coast, they are not looking so hot here. Dark Mago's in some trouble. He's got BKB, but he doesn't want to pop it, which means he gets hit up by the dart, by the silence. The shards are kind of off the mark there, and maybe that gives them an opening to go back in. No. Parker decides not going to go for it. Sent a shockwave in there, but that was it. And oh, we talked about the last fight maybe being a mistake here, ET. Beast Coast are kind of compounding with some further mistakes. 4 heroes dead. They get absolutely nothing out of that.
Yeah, and, well, now DNM has to be a little bit careful here. Does not want to get skewered under tier 4s. If he gets killed in his first life and then RP'd in a bad position, it could just be the reverse throw. And, well, here we go. It's starting.
The cogs are there for the
DNM.
pushback, too. And Red 2 says, I'll try and save the day. Comes in, kills off Stinger. And buybacks are not available. This is the thing. Parker doesn't have backup anymore with the supports dead again. And that all goes perfectly fine. DNM's able to hold his ground, and if you're Beast Coast, I mean, it's a nice play, but they just don't have the damage on the follow-up, and at this point, Parker has been scouted by the scan. This is not really all that sneaky, and at this point, they just can't afford to make the play. They back off, bottom lane gets taken in its entirety. Aegis is still up for 2 minutes, though, so 5-rat say, let's try it again.
Yeah, just keep the pressure on. Without BKB on the Magnus, very simply, you put the smoke screen down at the Lena's feet, and then you can't get skewered back. It's so casual, it just works. It does allow Beast Coast to respawn with its members, and yeah, they want out. They just got that bottom lane in. They want to catch you right now when you're off. Not necessarily ready, but Moose is ready to break the smoke. They've got the high ground. This isn't sneaky. Supports are showing. They flared aggressively, and here we are.
They do still see DNM, though. They're going to try to go in. The Global Silence will be used, but the BKB still comes through. DNM holds his ground, turns around, quick kill onto Sacred, and this fight is not really going anywhere. Dark Mago hit by the punch, going to try to TP home. Can they kill him in time? Of course they can. They get the kill again. They catch Stinger out as well with the LSA, and East Coast, they can't really... Parker, don't do that. Please don't do that. Making me nervous. But they can't find the initiation ET. They're jumping in onto 2 or 3 heroes at a time. They just need to focus down somebody, and they can't do it. Oh, Parker, okay. That is a nice RP, but where's the follow-up? They get the skewer, pulling them back under the tier 4s, but again, there aren't any buybacks. There is no backup, and the game's over. GG called. 5RAT are moving on, ET, and, well, there was a point where their opponents had 3 times their kill count in this game. You wouldn't think that was the case based on the final standing.
It was like 21-7, but it doesn't matter. 5RAT's lineup comes online in some very important mid-game decisions, just force the loss almost from Beast Coast. It felt like this was their game to lose for a very long time, but they don't get the first Aegis. They don't get the second Aegis. Lina gets that buffer. Speed gets to become that secondary carry, and as soon as they win a single team fight, then suddenly the map opens up. They get to farm. Everybody gets space. Suddenly, Sacred, you need a BKB yesterday. Oh, Dark Mago, you've had to use your BKB 3 times now defensively because we keep on getting jumped beforehand and then losing the subsequent team fight, and then it all just falls apart. It's as simple as that. And then at the end of the day, they try to dive Rev 2, and it just blows up in their face. And then they lose all 5 heroes. They don't get any D wards. They lose Roshan. And then from that point on forward, I think they've just lost the game because their heroes are worse. They're on this momentum. They're on this power trip because all 5 of their heroes are just snowballing out of control from their lanes, and then it just stops. And then the House of Cards collapses, and 5RAT top 3 at BTS Pro Series, as well as 3 NA teams being our top 3. I'm just excited. And they survive another day to get their rematch versus Shopify. Oh, I'm so excited. I'm so happy.
And unfortunately, it does come at Beast Coast's expense, who, it should be noted here, ET, put up a strong performance. They were one of the 3 directly invited teams. They still make top 4. And then we are always going to just sort of keep on throwing it back to this because he played a hell of an event, ET, but you're playing with Parker, not K1. Parker's very talented, but K1's a little bit more skilled, a little bit more experienced, and definitely more familiar with the rest of this lineup. So it's unfortunate for them, especially with the way that things collapse on them in that 3rd game, but they did quite nicely for themselves, and now they do have the major to look forward to.
Yeah, and almost poetically, we haven't had Beast Coast in these BTS Pro Series for exactly 10 BTS Pro Series. And guess what placement they got in BTS Pro Series for? It was 4th. So, you know, it all comes full circle. It all comes back around. But no, this is a showing, though. And 5RAT saw yesterday, they're confident, they're hungry, they want wins, they want some revenge, as well as no Marcy at all today. So maybe 5RAT have been able to cook and work through some of the issues they found in that series. But I'm just excited for what these next days, and I guess not these next days, what tomorrow brings us in that final day of BTS Pro Series 14.
It will be the final day, and we can give you a little look at what the rest of the bracket looks like now. You could probably take a guess because we're down to 3 teams, but here are your 3 teams remaining. We are going to start tomorrow with Shopify Rebellion versus 5RATFORCESTAFF Part 2. Will it be a revenge tour for 5RAT, or will Shopify be able to beat them again for a chance at their own revenge game, right? If Shopify win that, then they go to the grand finals for a chance to avenge themselves against Nouns, who, I mean, I'm not sure anybody is really in a position to try and threaten Nouns right now, ET. They have yet to lose a match here, and I mean, winning the grand final if you're Nouns is already going to be a statement, right? Considering that you miss the major. If you could maybe even 3-0 that grand final, make a perfect, flawless run here in Pro Series, you're basically untouchable.
Yeah. So many great NA storylines. I think all these teams just feeling like that top isn't so far away anymore. And of course, it's hard to talk about the top without the number 1 seed here. You know, TSMs are just too good for us. You know, it's okay. They've got their own boot camp. You know, I completely understand. But it just feels like NA is changing. You feel those tides shift. You feel like finally those reformations are coming through and these teams are becoming very capable forces. And then you just want one team to break through. You want to see them on that global stage. You want them to pull out another one of those showings where they just randomly make it to a major and then they don't get last. They get top 6. It's crazy. You're suddenly like, wait, we need more orcs in Dota. Oh my goodness, where we need these sponsorless teams to finally get sponsors. That's when everything explodes and you just feel good for the region in general.
Mm-hmm. Well, there we go. Swing it back over here for just a second because we do have word. We are going to have ourselves a winner's interview. If the information is correct here, I think we're going to be talking to Moose, but we are still looking to get that going, trying to get him in here, and obviously got to set up for said interview. So the games may be over, but don't go anywhere just yet. We are stepping aside for a little bit, but we're going to be back and having a talk with someone from 5RAT here to close out the day. So we will see you in just a little bit for that winner's interview. All right, there we go. Hello, everybody. We are back, and we are ready for our winner's interview here. We have Moose from 5RATFORCESTAFF coming and talking to us. So we'll get the intros out of the way, Moose. First of all,
Hello.
thanks for coming and talking to us, and congrats on the win.
Thank you. I'm glad to be here.
We won't
Oh, my
keep
cam
you.
is.
Oh, we're losing
You're good.
focus.
You're good.
It's all good. We can hear you. We can see you. But I guess we'll sort of ask the first thing first here. In that series against Beast Coast, you guys got. Well, we'll try to keep it polite. You got a little bit bopped there in the opening game, but you came back game 2 and then game 3 especially, really just kind of showing a lot of grit, a lot of determination. What were the sort of comms in those 2 games like? Were you still confident that you just had timings to hit and you could turn things around? How is it sounding?
I think the last game, especially, we had we knew we had some timings that we have to play off, and we can pick a strong T fight that is in our favor. So we were not so confident because I think we were kind of like nervous a bit. At least that's what I felt, and the team comes. But yeah, but we were confident in our timings, I guess, and we basically have to play like the Ricky lineup, right? Just gotta try to find your opening with the short and play for your timings, and that's what we did, and then end up pretty well. So I'm glad we won.
I do want to ask you because you mentioned sort of playing the Ricky lineup. We always kind of joke about it a little bit from the casting perspective, but I do want to ask you, as someone who actually plays it, what are those first like 15 minutes of Ricky like before you get the shard? What exactly are you thinking? Is this just a waiting game of I just have to wait for the shard and the rest is whatever, or what are you trying to do in those early stages?
I think the value of the hero it's in of course the share, right? But before it's kind of weak in lane, and so you gotta find creative ways to have like your impact, right? And I think Saksa did it in one game, and with kind of like everyone copied like the playstyle. It's like killing couriers and blocking camps, which is kind of like a huge impact. So that's kind of your job, kind of be annoying in the map, get some deep wards, give some information for your team because you're invis, so you gotta abuse that. And kill some couriers because you can kill. It's kind of like huge. I think this game I killed a tiny blink, which is delay
Mm,
2 minutes blink, which is huge, right? And so that's basically the impact you have to find. Just be annoying and let the team come to you. Because if you see a Ricky in your base killing the couriers, you have to go there. It's not so easy to catch them anyways. You have to place like 4 sentries, like find a wire, invest the time with the heroes to bring there to kill the Ricky. And it's a lot of space for your team. So it's basically you're making a lot of time. That's what I think about the hero, I guess.
mm-hmm. I mean, you played it to perfection, and I'm sure if you asked any member of Beast Coast, they would say just how annoying your Ricky play was there. So very well done on that front. And I guess one more question here before I hand you off to ET. Now you get the chance. You go up against Shopify Rebellion. We were talking to Speed just the other day. He felt that that was still a very winnable sort of series for you guys that you weren't quite able to close out. So now with the shot at revenge, how you feeling? Do you feel confident that you can take him down?
I'm feeling good. I feel like this team is pretty strong. I mean us, and of course Shopify. For some reason, I'm always happy to play against Artesian. I'm a big fan. I used to be a big fan, and now I'm just happy to play against him. And it's just excited to play against like good players. makes you improve. At least I take a lot of things out of these games because you don't get to play these teams too much. So you learn a lot because you're playing against better opponents. So for me, it's just I'm pretty excited. To be honest, I think we have like a big shot if we just play our game, and I think have a pretty big shot. But we have to see, right? We just have to perform and see what happens.
Mhm. Looking forward to seeing that matchup, and I'll let ET get a word in here on this one.
Sup, Moose? GG's. Easy game for you, honestly. But all I've got to ask is you played with Dendy. You spent some time on bait. Were you always planning on leaving? Was that kind of the plan for you specifically? Or was this just an opportunity that came up towards the end of the season in between? Or was it just, something that just happened in the moment?
Not really. I really wanted to make things work for sure. You don't join something in order expecting to live. You join something in order like to make it work. But I had to follow my heart at the end. I think I fit better in this team. I think I have more room for improvement and like more clearness in my head. So it's just better for me. That was the main decision I made. So I really trust in these guys, and I think we can make some good things with time and hard work. So we just gotta stay humble and keep working hard.
And do you think that your time on bait has been time well spent? Are you taking some of the ideas you learned with those guys and then maybe adopting some of those things into 5RAT? Or are you just back to NASA Dota? You're just going back, just playing what you used to play before?
I think it was a very like fun experience and learning experience for me. I learned a lot, quite a lot to be honest. From then, it's every experience you gotta try to learn the most of you can. So it's like helpful for you. But so I learned a lot. I cannot really tell what. I mean, I can tell, but it's like too long conversation. But I'm glad I spent my time there, and I'm really grateful that I got the opportunity from Dundee and to meet him.
And
It
are you
was
still
very
on
fun.
good terms? Are you still on good
Yeah,
terms with Dendy?
yeah, for
Okay,
sure.
good.
Like Dandy's an amazing person, and I will be happy to see him one more time in the future. It's just a great person. So I'm just glad I could spend a little bit with time with him and just share like a teammate stuff with him. It was fun.
Okay. And that's all from me. Thank you so much for talking with us, Moose. It's always a pleasure and good luck tomorrow.
Thank you. See you tomorrow. Hope you enjoy the games. Hello to the fans. Hello to my girlfriend and my parents. Bye.
Very nice. Get the shout outs in there at the end as well. So do appreciate it. There go the cameras again. Always gonna happen. One day, I keep saying one day I'll preempt it, but once again, ET, today is not that day. We slowly but surely fix it, and you all get to watch production break. But that is it. Thank you to Moose for coming and talking to us, sharing some of his thoughts, and I do like ET. We got a little bit more of a clue. We asked Speed yesterday, and he was a little tight-lipped about it, right? Wasn't willing to commit, but from the way Moose is talking, it does sound like he's looking like a little bit more of a permanent official addition to this squad, and if that is the case, I really like the way 5RAT look here moving forward.
Yeah, and just, the time spent on bait, the melting pot, the ideas, the individual improvement. It's just what you love to see. It's where those pro players just get to that next level. It's where you want things to break down, that you actually get those positive experiences with each other on that more global scale. But always great to hear from Moose. And hey, they're looking good. They're feeling good. They've got a big game tomorrow. Got to go to bed soon. Got to get ready for tomorrow. Got to make sure they're hot in the lobby. But always great to hear from them.
Mm-hmm. So we will be, well, closing things out for today. Only one day left here in BTS Pro Series 14, and ET, after that final day, we're done. Southeast Asia ended a couple of days ago, so we are all that remains. But we have spectacular matchups. Again, it's going to be 5RATFORCESTAFF going up against Shopify Rebellion first. The winner of that faces Nouns in that best of 5 grand final. So 3 teams left, all North America. If you're an SA fan, apologies, but hey, you got the major in like 2 days, 3 days, whatever. So there is plenty of good Dota on your home soil with some of your region's teams as well. So you got that to look forward to. But for now, ET, we are gonna be closing things out, and that is it for you and me. We are actually handing it off to our Cryptic and Neff tomorrow. So with that in mind, any sort of closing thoughts, closing remarks here before we get out of here?
Really? I mean, you just gotta throw it up. Shopify needs no introduction, but throw it up for nouns in 5RAT. There are still teams that need a lot of support. They're so close to that top. They need so much, but they're so close. They're so good. These players are always so active as well. Just make sure to keep that love coming. Not to say any of the SA boys don't deserve it either. SA has been really difficult to cover for a lot of people this season, especially. It's where even if you're not watching in English, throw their streams some viewers. See the boys in the actual production house in South America. It's where there's so much good Dota that's gotten brushed under the rug. Everybody, we're all in US East. We're all together. It's Americas. It's why it's called BTS Pro Series Americas, because at the end of the day, we're all just that same group of people. So really just make sure to spread that love. And that's all from me. That's all. Just big old gushy ending. It's not even the final day of the tournament.
And remember, if you don't defend NASA Dota, then you let the European supremacists win. And well, maybe some of you don't care about that, but would like for some bragging rights on this side of the ocean every once in a while. So show those teams some support. Hope you tune in for the games tomorrow. And we are going to be shutting things down here. So one last time, thank you all so much for watching, and we will see you next time. Have a good night.